Hi, Therese and Lostinpaper, and I'm here for the Altenew and Pretty Pink Posh collab, so therefore it just had to be a shaker card. And what I thought I'd do is play with these bold alphabet dies, and I have a landscape card in my left hand here and a piece of white cardstock on the other side that I'm just roughly working out. I want to cut out the word merry, and it's a fairly big word, and I'm just working out kind of where the center of the panel is, because this is like, I'm cheating, just to let you know. I'm actually lining up the word, and rather than trying to center it on a piece of cardstock that's cut exactly the same as my card front, what I'm doing here is I'm just making sure there's enough edge on the top and the side of my card that it's going to be centered enough that I can actually cut my card, this panel, down to fit the front of my card and make the word merry center, rather than do it the other way around, have the right size piece of cardstock and then try and center it. So I'm using the actual landscape card itself as well to make sure that my letters end up nice and straight. Another cheating thing. But that's okay, whatever it takes to make it easier. I wanted a patterned background behind my die cut window, and you might remember, if you've watched my videos before, I've done a similar, using the same dies, but I used the Altenew washi tape behind the window to just kind of make a pattern pop. So I'm going kind of with the same theory, but this time I'm creating my own pattern. I've got the Simple Shapes stamp set, and my main colours here are the warm greys, those beautiful Altenew greys, but I've got a pop of hot pink and bright blue as well. So every now and again I can just hold the die cut merry, because I have cut this now down to B centre so it'll fit on the front of the card, and I want some colours to be showing through, and you can see a couple of spots there I hadn't actually cleaned my stamp particularly well, but I'm not worrying about that, I'm just going with it. I'm adding my acetate now, because if I don't add it now then I forget. So I'm using my dotted adhesive. This is great when you've got really thin areas of die cut, and I don't have to worry about waiting for it to dry like I would with a liquid glue. I want to stamp some of the bows. This is from the new bells and bows set from Altenew, and I have got my Misty lined up here with the outline stamp, and then what I'm doing is actually stamping the other three. So it's a 4-step stamp, this one. The base colour, I'm going for the blues, and the base colour is Caribbean Sky, and I've made sure I've put plenty of ink. I think I actually primed my stamp with the Versamark, which works really well because it is a new stamp for me. The middle layer of colour, I've used the Persian blue, and this is one of the blue sets from Altenew. So if you just follow the sets of ink that they sell, then you'll be spot on. So what I'm showing you here is I actually lined the stamp up and then pick it up with my block. That way I know it's facing the right way, and once I've added my ink I can just flip it over and stamp it down. I don't have to try and work out which way the bow goes. And that last colour is the darkest one, which is called Sapphire. It's a really fun stamp, this one, and the layering just works perfectly. And this is why I actually stamped it in the Misty first with the outline. It's because I want the black outline to be nice and bold. I mean, you could stamp this at the end. I just find it easier to line my stamps up if I've got the outline one to work with. The rest of my sentiment comes from the Sketched Evergreen, and I have 3 cards up on my blog and at the Altenew blog yesterday using this set, including a video. It's a beautiful, it has this awesome sketched big Christmas tree and lots of other stuff in the set as well, lots of sentiments, and oh, it's awesome. Anyway, focus. You can see that I mis-stamped, and I'm really glad that I used my Misty there. So I did come back and add a second layer of black to the word bright, and I want this to be nice and bright, and that's why I've used the sentiment merry and bright. It's one of my favourite Christmas sentiments. the two bright coloured sequins I'm using today from Pretty Pink Posh. They're called Ocean Spray and Fairy Tale Fuchsia, and they're really, really pretty. They're kind of got, if you look at them, they reflect other colours off them, almost like the sparkling clear ones, which I'm also adding here too. So this mix of sequins works really well. I've got 4mm, 6mm, and now I've also got the 8mm sparkling sequins. So I've added them within my well, and then I've used some fun foam, and I've cut that right round, created my own well, added some score tape, and then I can simply add a second layer of acetate behind my shaker portion, and that way I don't have to try and mess around with keeping the sequins on the card front while I try and line up my shaker card. It just works really well for me. I did add some more score tape behind that, and then I can just pop that onto the front of my card and then add my bows. I did make a second bow, and that was using the new pink inks from Altenew, Rose Quartz, Puffy Heart and Purple Wine. And that's in the smaller bow, and I did fussy cut these out, leaving a small white border. And that's my finished card for today. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're having a blast along the hop. Till next time, shake it. And happy paper crafting. Bye.